I need to move my head like this so much.
Can you pop your head?
Right. Hey you guys, it's your girl Nessa. Welcome back to another video. So for today's video, I am going to be doing my makeup. So this is gonna be like my go-to everyday makeup. This is like the look that I always do every time I go out for special events. It's just something that, you know, it's super quick, super easy, and I'm gonna show you guys all the stuff that I use today. First off, I'm going in with the Too Faced primer. It's the Prime and Poreless primer. So I'm just gonna use a little bit to this and then rub it all over my face. So my skin does get oily, and I am going to be doing one of my little tricks that I like doing. My skin does get oily when I wear makeup, so I'm gonna go in with a loose translucent powder. So I put primer on my face, and then I'm gonna go in with the Mercier powder. I'm just gonna pick a little bit of this up, a little bit, tap it off, and all I'm gonna do is just tap it on the areas where I get oily. I'm gonna tap it on the areas where I get oily. Oh no. Close that window. So I just put the loose powder all over my face. I like to do skin first. That's just something that I personally like doing, and then I do with my eyebrows and then eyeshadow. So the two foundations that I'm using is I'm using the Born This Way foundation with the Juvia's Place one. I like mixing these because I don't like full coverage, but I do like full coverage. I want it to be like natural full coverage, if that makes sense. So I do more of the Born This Way first, and I just put a little squeeze of the Juvia's Place. And then I like to go in with the beauty blender, blend it out. My chin. I do put it on my eyelids a little bit. The foundation does look light on me, but that's okay because I do go in with a cream contour anyways to darken it up. I don't like my foundation to be dark and then I lighten it. I personally like to make for myself, I like to make it lighter and then go in with cream contour and kind of darken it up. And that's the foundation. So now I'm gonna go in with concealer. So I'm gonna go in with the Born This Way concealer. I like this concealer, but I don't like it. I personally still like the Tarte Shape Tape one. I don't know, I feel like that one's just like a better coverage for me, and I like the colors that they have. Like I had to find 3 different colors to find my right color for the Born This Way. And I'm just gonna pat this all out. It doesn't have to be completely blended out. Like you see the foundation and the concealer you still see. So I go in with the side where I had the foundation, and I just kind of lightly buff this out. My makeup is pretty simple. I really don't like doing too much to my makeup just because I feel like natural makeup just looks prettier on me. I like my skin to be like very flawless. I go in with like one eyeshadow. I do very natural brows, and then I just do blush and bronzer. I don't like highlighting. Like I don't like the sparkly stuff on my face no more. And then that's the concealer blended. Once I'm done with the concealer, then I'm gonna go in with my Anastasia cream contour in the shade Cocoa. Or is it Coca? It's Coca. So I like to do a line here, line on my forehead, my temples, another line, and then I like to do my jaw. You're gonna see I do my makeup, I don't want to say sloppy, but I rush through my makeup. I feel like when I take my time on doing my makeup, it turns out ugly every time I take my time. Like, I feel like if I rush my makeup, it looks prettier. I'm going to blend this all out. Oh, and the brush that I'm using is the Morphe Y8. I'm not sure if they still sell this brush, but I remember I bought this brush like 3 years ago with like a big ass like kit of all brushes, and it was like $200. So after I'm done cream contouring, you guys were seeing that I was pushing my sponge into the areas where I wanted to lighten up again, because I feel like when my cream contour, I do go a little crazy and it moves down a little bit. You still want to have this space right here where it's lighter so your face looks, you know, snatch. So I like to go back in with my foundation side. Well, this is the concealer side. I go with the concealer and foundation side just to kind of brighten it up a little bit and not make my contour, it's going to help my contour not look low, because you don't want your contour to look low. I'm going to do it on my forehead. My forehead's pretty little. Go back under my eyes and lightly blend this out. So then I'm going to go in with my Laura Mercier powder. I'm going to pick some powder up. So I do make sure that my entire sponge is coated with the powder, and then I tap it off. You want to make sure all the powder is off. And then I'm going to press this powder underneath my eyes. So this is going to help my under eyes set and not make it crease. I do get oily right here, so I do add more powder right there. And you want to push this powder into the skin. This is a really good trick, especially for people that has dry skin, because you know baking does cling onto dry spots and you don't want that. So when you push this powder into your skin, it melts the powder into the concealer and foundation. You want to make sure that your sponge is damp when you are doing this. And I do get smile lines, so I make sure that I get all that. And then I'm gonna get right under my cheek. I want to highlight that part, and then I want to highlight the other side, just like that. So I do let this sit a little bit. I don't let it sit too long. I'm actually gonna dust it off now, because like I said, I don't like baking. I just feel like baking just makes your makeup look really white. When you take pictures, it cleans out the dry spots, and if you were to mess up that baking, it's hard to like fix. So I don't let my powder really sit on my face. And I'm gonna set the rest of my face. And then the powder that I'm using is the Sephora powder. It's the Mircosmooth face powder in the shade Tan. And I like to buff this everywhere. The reason why I like doing this because it helps with my flashback. So I'm kind of like, well, I'm kind of setting my translucent powder with another powder that's like my shaded skin tone. And when you take pictures, it won't flash back like white underneath your eyes and like white right here. So now I am doing my eyebrows. So I am going to be using the Anastasia Brow Wiz in the shade dark brown. I'm just gonna lightly brush my hair up. And then I'm gonna do a line underneath my brow first. So I start in the front and then work my way to the arch, and then I'll bring it down my tail. Okay, I need something to drink. I'm out of breath. So once I have that line underneath the brow, I will go in and start filling this center part right here, and then I'll start filling in my arch and in the tail part. As you can see, I don't touch nothing in the front. And then I'm just gonna do long strokes. When you do brows, I do recommend to do long short strokes and then short strokes, just because I feel like short strokes make your eyebrows dark and longer strokes don't. If you know what I mean. Like if you do short strokes like this, it darkens up the brows, and I feel like with long strokes it makes it a little lighter. You see, like longer strokes, short strokes. So when you do long strokes through your brows, I feel like the product doesn't come on as harsh, and it doesn't add a lot of product in certain areas. Like if I do short strokes right here, it's gonna make my eyebrows super dark. So I do recommend to do long strokes. And then I'm going to brush this up. If you guys see me looking over here, it's because I have another mirror right here. And I'm going to brush this through. And then for the front of the brow, I'll kind of lightly just brush this up to make it look like I have little hairs in the front. Yes, so the tip with eyebrows is just do longer strokes than short strokes. And I'm gonna do the other brow off camera. All right, so I filled in my brows. They look a little crazy, but I don't mind my brows looking crazy because my concealer is gonna clean it up anyways. And the concealer I'm using today is the Juvia's Place one in number 16. And I'm going to put some on the back of my hand, and then I'm gonna use my favorite Wet n Wild brush, and I'm gonna coat my brush both sides with concealer. So both sides of my brush is coated, and then we're gonna start concealing the brow. So I like to do like kind of like a unibrow in the front, so I like to do, what I mean by unibrow, so I like to connect my concealers to make sure that the front of my brows are even. So I'm going to conceal underneath the brow. And then as you guys can see, I am using the side of the brush other than the tip of the brush to conceal underneath my brows. I just feel like I get like a better clean line when I do that than using the tip like this all the way through. I feel like if I put my brush on the side and use the side of the brush, I'm going to get a really clean line. And it's a lot faster too. Voila. So then I'm gonna do the other side. I'm gonna do the other side over here. I'm going to, so you see I'm going to connect the concealers underneath so that it looks straight in the front. So this concealer color is my skin tone color. I personally like doing the same skin tone color for my entire brow instead of doing it lighter underneath and then darker on top, or like the same shade as on top. I like to just do the same color all around my eyebrow, just because I like more of like a natural look. So I cut off some of my brow, and instead of going back in with a pencil, I'm gonna go back in with a brow powder. And I'm gonna use the darkest one in here. This is dark brown. I'm gonna use the darkest one and just lightly fill that in. Just like that. And then I'm gonna just clean it up a little bit. And then I'm gonna do the same thing to the other side. Okay. So now I am done concealing my brows. I am going to go in with another Wet n Wild brush, and all I'm going to do is lightly pat this concealer out. So I'm patting out the edges. I'm not really clean with this because I'm going to go back in with my sponge anyways to blend it all out. So as you can see, it's not completely blended. I'm going to go in with the sponge, and I'm just going to lightly buff this through. And then I'm going to go in the center of the brow. Okay, so that is a completed brow. So then I'm going to go back in with the brush that I used to cream contour. I'm going to go back on top on the sides to kind of blend this out because it kind of lightened up with the concealer. And then yeah, so another trick that I like doing too is whatever's left on this brush, I kind of lightly brush on top of my brow, just so that it's not so harsh. It looks natural, because you know, always trying to go for that natural look. So then I'm gonna go back in with some translucent powder, and then I'm gonna set my forehead, and I'll press this all in really lightly. And now my face looks matte. All right, so now I'm going to put more powder on top of my forehead, on top of my eyelids. So I like to do a lot of powders because I don't add a lot of foundation anyways on my skin, and I feel like powders just make your makeup last longer. That's just my preference. And I feel like when I add more powder, my face stays matte, but it doesn't look cakey because I don't use a lot of makeup. I mean, I don't use a lot of foundation. So the bronze I'm using today is the Bajan Girl from Fenty, and then I'm using my MAC 135 brush. And I'm just going to, you know, buff this in, tap it off, and I just go straight into the contour. my jaw, my cheeks. The reason I like this brush is because it literally has like this perfect sharpness. And then I'm gonna do my hairline, I get right in there. Do the same thing to the other side. So I am pretty heavy handed with my bronzer just because I like that very bronzy look anyways. So I go a little crazy. And I like my face to look slim, so that's why I add a lot of contour. So once I'm done with that, I'm gonna go in with another contour. So I'm going in with the Morphe Highlight Contour Palette, and this is the 8H one, and this is how this one looks like. So I'm gonna go in with these two shades right here. Top it off, and then just kind of deepen up my contour, and then my forehead. So then, when I'm done with that, I'm gonna go in with the Kat Von D Shade and Light brush. And I'm gonna go in with this top one right here. Top it off, and I'm gonna contour the sides of my nose. And I just go down all the way up to my brows. And like I said, you guys, as you guys can see, like, you know, I don't want to say that I'm messy with my makeup, but I am kind of messy with my makeup, because I don't know, with my makeup I'm really not a perfectionist. And like I said, I do my makeup very simple. Like literally this, I'm gonna pop on some eyeshadow and blush, and that's it. So then I go in and kind of buff out underneath, just kind of lighten it up. And I'm gonna go in with this brush, and I'm gonna go in with the NARS Powder in Mountain, and just kind of lightly highlight underneath the cheekbones and on the sides of the nose. So now we are going in with blush. So I am using, the name of this palette is called Pop of Curl, and it's from Morphe. So I'm gonna use this darker shade right here. So like I said in my other videos, when I do my clients' makeup, I do add a generous amount of blush because blush comes off the quickest. Blush and bronzer is what wears out the fastest. So I do add a lot of blush. I look crazy because my lips are the same color as my skin. But yeah, so I add a lot of blush. I'm gonna tap this out. Sometimes if you feel like it's a little bit too much or like it's too harsh on the side, just go back in with the beauty sponge with the foundation side and just kind of lightly buff it out. So the palette that I'm going in with is the Morphe one. It looks like this. It's super pretty. It's called the Artistry palette in D9. So I'm gonna go in with just a plain fluffy brush. I'm gonna use my favorite brush. This is the Makeup Shack 212 brush. I'm just gonna go in with this shade right here. Tap it off, and I'm just gonna start on the outer part and work my way in and do circular motions. So I'm doing bigger circular motions. I'm very light with the brush. I'm not pushing the brush into my eyelids. I'm add a little bit more, just kind of deepen it up a little bit. I personally don't like doing a lot of eyeshadows because I'm more of like a skin and eyelash type of girl. So I like to make this pretty simple. But yeah, I only use one shade, and I'm just kind of lightly buffing this out. Just like that. I need to put brow gel in my brows because my brow hairs be all over the place. My brows look weird. Okay, so then I'm gonna do some eyelashes. So I'm gonna pop on some lashes. I wore these lashes already. I don't have the case for them, but I will link it down below. So I'm just using my dual glue, and then I'm just gonna apply some on. Let that dry a little bit. And then I'm gonna see if I need another pair on top of these, because you know I like my lashes pretty dramatic. So I'm gonna let that dry, and then I'm gonna go in and do my lips. So you know we're gonna do my favorite lip combo. So I'm using Cold Brew, the lip liner from NYX. And I'm gonna line my bottom lip. So I'm gonna show you guys how I do it. So my lip starts right here, but I go on top of my lip to make my lips look bigger. Like if I was to line my regular lip, this is how my lip will look. I look like Courtney when her face was numb on that one. But yeah, if I was to do my regular lip or follow my regular lip line, this is how my lip will look like. So I'm gonna go on top of my lip. You see, this is where my lip was, and I'm going on top of the lip. Okay, and then I'm gonna go in with my favorite liquid lipstick from Kiss in the shade Honey Bunny. Put this in the center, tap it around, and now lightly use my fingers to blend it out. You can use a brush, but I personally like using my fingers because, you know, it's my lips, it's my fingers, and I like to lightly smooth out the lip liner so it's not so harsh. And then I'm gonna go in with a lighter concealer for the center of my lips. So I'm just gonna get a little bit of the concealer that I use underneath my eyes, the Born This Way, tap it on my fingers, and add it in the center, and then lightly blend that out so it gives like that, you know, cute ombre effect. Shucks, man. So that's the lashes. I hate it when my lash, like, they're both the same lashes, but like right here, I don't know what's going on right here. I didn't even pull the lash out right there. But anyways, so I'm gonna go in with my favorite eyeliner. This is the Marc Jacobs black liner, and I'm gonna lightly tightline my under eyes because I have a lot of skin that's showing right there, and I like it to be really dark. Push that together. All right, so what do you think? I'm about to put some mascara on. So I'm using the Big Shot mascara. This is like my favorite mascara. I like this mascara a lot. It's because it's cheap and it doesn't run underneath the eyes. Do I have makeup right on my shirt? Fuck.
Both of them.
Okay.
Oh, me, mama.
Yes, who's hurting my arm? So then I'm gonna put some gloss on. This is like my favorite lip combo. So my lips could look like some, what do they call it?
Dick sucking lip?
I was gonna say DSL. They look like some DSL. Don't they look like DSL lips? This, let me get myself together. So yes, this is a completed look. What do you think? So you guys, like I said before, I don't like doing highlighting, like, you know, like the sparkly stuff. I just personally like my face matte, and I feel like sometimes it like adds texture to my skin anyways. I really don't have any of my brows. Like, I literally, this is like my simple makeup. When I tell you guys, when I don't know what to do for my events, like even for my my makeup class event, this is exactly how I did my makeup. But yes, it's really simple. People always ask me to do a tutorial on my makeup. I just feel like my makeup is so simple. I really do like foundation, eyebrows, one eyeshadow, bronzer, and blush, and eyelashes and lips. That's all I do. Alright, and this is a completed look. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you did, please give it a thumbs up. Comment below what you think, and don't forget to subscribe. And I'll see you guys in my next video. Love you guys.